Hi, my name is Matt Renault with Dell Technologies Data Protection Division. Today I want to talk a little bit about Dell's cyber recovery solution to protect your business against potential cyber attacks. I'm not sure if you're aware, but every 39 seconds there is a cyber attack in the world. That means that in the time I've been talking to you, there's been one attack. 71% of those attacks are financially motivated. So the bad guys are out there looking for some type of ransomware from you. So they want you to pay to get your data back once it's been hijacked by them. The average cost of an attack is $13 million. That includes legal fees that you may have to be paying your attorneys, downtime due to productivity to these environments being down, overtime and different infrastructure you're going to have to bring in to get your environment back up and running. Now, depending on your vertical and the size of your business, it could be much larger or smaller, but either way, that's a staggering number. And the scariest part for me is a lot of times these attacks will dwell for 100 plus days in your environment before they come alive. What that means is somebody maybe opened up an email, visited a website, downloaded something that they shouldn't have done, and now that is sitting in your environment, dwelling, waiting to come alive, and the average dwell time is 100 days. So let's talk a little bit about how Dell Technologies cyber recovery solution can help protect your business and give you the ability to recover in the event that you are attacked. So I'm going to draw out your environment today, very similar to a lot of customers I talk to every day. You have a variety of applications that power the business. One of the most critical ones we see is email. In addition, you probably have some flavor of databases in the environment. You have those app servers that drive those databases. File is a big part of a lot of customers' environment. It's a big attack surface for these ransomware folks. In addition, you probably have some basic services that you don't even think about every single day, such as DNS and Active Directory that are critical to running the business. If these two aren't up, you cannot get to or access anything like that. So what you do, every night, you leverage your backup app to make a copy of that. In the event something happens to one of these applications, you can quickly recover. You take your backup app, and you've chosen to protect that with Dell Data Domain. From there, you have the ability to launch this app and bring any one of these back to your last backup copy or another point in time. Now, what's critical to think of here, 100 plus days of dwell time. So if you have a retention policy less than 100 days, that means that every single one of your backup copies could potentially be infected with that ransomware. Now, you, like many customers, have taken that data domain and you've replicated that off to a second site. So you've installed a second data domain to protect against a disaster in that main data center. So you've taken all the steps to build out a good business continuity plan to protect your applications. But what happens in the event of a cyber attack where they're going to attack these applications, or we're seeing even more attacks where the backup application or even the backup disk target are attacked and destroyed and try to be taken down? So what we want to do is build out an AirGap vault. This AirGap vault will be another copy of your data, could reside in the same production data center, in a separate rack, a separate location in that data center, that is vaulted off from the network. So when I say vaulted off, you cannot access this at all unless you are physically standing there, logging in at the console. In addition, if we take a step further, we require two-factor authentication to get into the vault. What we put in the vault, we put some very critical infrastructure applications for the cyber recovery solution to work. So first and foremost, we put a data domain in there. Next, we put our cyber recovery management server. Next, we put our analytics engine called CyberSense in here. Third, we have the option, if we choose to do so, to put that backup application in here. So the backup app that you're running here we're going to move and put in here as well too, so you will have the ability to do some restores. We're going to talk about this all in more detail. And lastly, another option that some customers do is they put recovery host. These are not required, and these are additional optional add-on, depending on the level of recovery you want to take with your solution. Now, I've drawn these all as separate applications. These can be run on bare metal servers, or if you wanted to, they could all be virtualized, with VMware and all, compacted down onto one or two different servers in there. We even see some scenarios where customers will choose to deploy recovery hosts on a small VxRail cluster, or in all of these other applications on there as well. Now, let's talk a little bit how we get data into the vault. So today you have your your applications using your backup app to back that up. What we can do is we can either take that same M tree you're writing everything today and bring that into the vault, or what we find a lot of customers doing is they don't need every single application to reside in this AirGap vault. They'll select a subset of those applications and bring those into the vault. If that's the case, what we're going to do is we're going to create a separate M tree for those applications. Once we set up that M tree, we're going to go to our Cyber Recovery Management server and set up a policy to basically call and pull the data into the vault. So what will happen is the CR server will say, okay, give me that last M tree, give me a replica copy of that into the vault. From there, it will turn on the ports on this data domain, just the ports that are needed for replication or work, and will initiate that pull into the vault. Once that pull is done and complete, we sever off that connection and the vault is now isolated. This will end up on its own M tree within the vault that we then apply a retention lock to. Once we apply this lock to this, we have basically locked down this copy so nobody can delete it, modify it, or do anything to it until its expiration policy hits and we clean that data off that system. So this is locked down for good, so it'll protect against anybody going in and deleting that copy of data. From there, we're going to create a fast copy of that M tree. And what we're going to do with this fast copy is we're going to have our CyberSense software go do some analytics against that. So your first copy comes in, we're going to do a baseline of what that data set looks like. We're going to be looking at different entity categories, such as, is this a known ransomware threat that we're aware of? Is this, have a lot of files been changed? Have directories been created? Which are signs that data may be encrypted, such on your file server in production. Once we have that baseline, we're going to then, every night, run analytics against every new copy of data coming in, and we're going to use artificial intelligence to look at and look for possible known threats or issues that may be happening. In the event we see something, we're going to flag that, and we're going to send you an alert and notification to go investigate that further. What the good part about this is we're going to be able to pinpoint down the time that it's happened, the backup job it's happened, and the applications that are affected. So when it comes time to recover, you know exactly where you need to go to do that. Now, in addition, CyberSense will, like I said, alert you to that. And then, if you do need to recover, if you have your backup application in here, you can attach that up to the data domain. And in this scenario I put out here, we can then restore directly to these recovery hosts. So that means we're working in a full AirGap scenario in your clean room to be able to recover those applications. I hope you found this overview helpful today, to talking a little bit about our cyber recovery solution that we can offer you to protect against cyber attacks. If you'd like more information, please reach out to your local account team and we'll be happy to do a deeper dive for you.